Also, for you Longhorn fans, before we get to the top 20 countdown drill down, I wanted to play this for you because fair question. Asked yesterday. I actually was talking to AJ Milwee. He's the offensive coordinator, co-offensive coordinator. He also is the quarterback's coach, so he's in charge of Arch Manning. And the question that we've all asked: how do you utilize his legs but keep him healthy? How do you utilize Arch's legs into the offense but not get him hurt or make sure he protects himself? Here's the quarterback's coach's answer.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's on us as coaches to make sure that we're not putting him in that situation too many times in a game. And then it's obviously on him. From a coaching standpoint, we have to coach him really well to understand that it doesn't have to be Superman runs every time. You know, if it is a run and you can get 15 and get down, let's do that. But we don't have to take. You know, I've used some coachable moments from last year when he wasn't the starter. You know, the Mississippi State game comes to mind. He had this run, he gets up the field, and he gets 5 or 6 yards, and he could have easily dove. Well, he takes the Mike linebacker on and takes a shot on his throwing shoulder. Didn't hurt him at that point in time, but that hit over the course of 15, 16 games, that's going to take a toll.
All right, so can't play hero ball.
Right.
Play smart. And think about it. Last year, when I believe he suffered a head injury. They never confirmed it, but in the Cotton Bowl. And what was he doing? That was a 4th down play, right? And he went wide, and he had to dive for the first down line to make sure they got it.
Yeah.
And he got decked.
He got smoked.
That's a play. Yes, you got to get to the first down, but you can't go Superman.
No.
And he just gave the other example. And I was wondering when I heard him say that maybe that's why, because we played the audio last hour about the backup quarterback battle with Trey Owens and Matthew Caldwell. Maybe they do want to keep that type of thing in their offense, but not have Arch have to run it. Matthew Caldwell maybe could be a legs quarterback.
What they were doing last year with him because, let's call it how it is, Quinn couldn't really run.
Right, well, especially after the injuries.
Yes.
But, Matthew Caldwell's now come in from Troy, and you know what? I want to run that exact same play, but I don't want Arch to have to take that hit. Well, my third-string quarterback can do it, and he also brings the threat of throwing because you could say, well, put another player there, a running back or a tight end. Well, no, that doesn't bring the throw because you want the defense to think he could throw this ball.
Still can throw it, right?
Maybe that's what they're thinking with Caldwell. I don't know because they want to utilize that. It was effective. Scored a touchdown against A&M.
And Caldwell's ran it before. I mean, he's got some legs. That's part of his game for the 4 years he's played college football.
Well, that's why when he came out of Auburn, Alabama, he wasn't a highly recruited guy. He's a big guy, big athletic kid, but his throwing is not there. He went 3 different stops, but running is probably his main attribute. I wonder if that maybe is something we learned yesterday, that maybe that's part of it. This could become a kind of a short yardage type quarterback like Arch was last year for Quinn. I don't know. We'll follow that.
I don't think we'll be seeing the 21 miles per hour very often. Maybe it will happen here and there, but they're probably going to want to keep him.
Well, if he breaks into the open field,
if
you got to run.
It happens. Yeah. Exactly. You're right. I'm not saying it won't, but
sure,
they're definitely going to not every other play do that.
Yeah, then that's a tightrope, but at the same time, it's a threat to the defense because the defense then has to play 11-on-11 football.
Right.
Okay, so preseason college football rankings. Let's all concede before we have this conversation. They don't mean anything.
0.
Some have argued, and I've argued before, that we don't even need them. And let's just wait till we get about 6 weeks in. I mean, those college football playoff rankings, when they come out into late October, okay, we played some football now. We played some ball. We know this team's good. We know this team's bad. No one after 6 or 8 games last year would have had Florida State ranked.
No.
Yet they were preseason top 10. Last year, right?
They were 10th.
And it is fair that when the AP Top-25 comes out in these rankings, and our top 20 means nothing. And it does heavily, it weights teams, because if they were high at the start of the year, it helps them when they're at the end of the year. That, oh man, they took a loss here, but they were ranked high to start the year. But that doesn't mean anything, especially in the portal era. But it's fun, and it's a good way to spend August spotlighting different teams. But how are we going to rank our top 20 countdown? I will say that I have done the deep dive and looked at 11 different preseason top 25s, compiled them, and I like to call it the Game Time Composite. Thank you very much.
Okay.
These are the post-spring top 25s, post-portal top 25s. 11 of them. I'll give you the 11. They are the 11 that are out there currently. There's ESPN, CBS, Sports Illustrated, USA Today, On3 Sports, Sporting News, 24/7 Sports, Action Network, Athlons, The Athletic, and Bleacher Report. Okay?
Okay.
Those are the 11.
There you go.
In the 11, the Longhorns are ranked number 1 in how many?
Of the 11?
Yeah.
8.
7.
Okay.
7. 7 of them. Sporting News, 24/7 Sports, Athlons, Athletic, Bleacher Report, Sports Illustrated, and On3 Sports all have the Longhorns as the number 1 team in the preseason. 2 have them at number 2. That would be Action Network and CBS. ESPN and USA Today have them third.
That's what I was going to ask. Any thirds?
USA Today and ESPN.
ESPN, okay. So Ohio State and maybe
ESPN has Penn State one.
Oh, Penn State, okay. With their returning players, I understand.
They have, I don't even know they have two.
Georgia, Ohio State, maybe?
They have, so I only cut and pasted the top 5 here, and they don't have number 2. So that's somebody else. So interesting. I got to look back and look at ESPN's. But USA Today has Texas third with number 1 Ohio State, number 2 Penn State. But if you look at the composite, the game in 31 days is another one of these games of the century because the team that is ranked number 1 in the second most polls is Ohio State.
Yeah.
And again, preseason polls don't matter.
Well, they won the championship. That's why that probably goes into this a little bit more, right?
But we have to build our Game Time Top 20 countdown. Yes, I do think it's fair to look at other people's opinions and then base it up with ours. But according to the 11 composite, where they rank everybody, the last 5 out, because we're going 20, not 25. Right. The teams that we should have been talking about this week include Ole Miss, Iowa State, Louisville, Oklahoma, and Indiana. That's the composite.
Okay.
Any disagreement? Should we have someone in there in our top 20 that's not one of those 5 teams? Ole Miss is in there too, by the way. They're tied with Iowa State for 20th. So
does this
I could argue
any other Big 12 team, like a Kansas State, or that's a team.
These are the last 5 out, 6 out, and I could argue strongly for Texas Tech that they should be in our top 20.
You could,
based on money spent, and I'll say this:
you could argue a few Big 12 teams.
If Baron Morton stays healthy, I think they should be ranked in the top 20.
Okay, fair enough.
Because the money they've spent to bring in David Bailey, the elite edge rusher, they've rebuilt their defensive line. Because what they've done with all this portal spending is on the lines of scrimmage.
Right.
And we know how important that is to Texas. And in the Big 12, if you can dominate the line of scrimmage or win it, you're going to win most games if your quarterback's healthy. Because there's not Texas knows this. The line of scrimmage talent in the Big 12 is not what it is in the Big 10 of the SEC.
It's not even close.
So if you can build that as a strength at Texas Tech with oil money,
right,
that's a huge advantage. Everybody's got skill guys. Everybody's got running backs. Right. Everybody can run and play. But when you can push people around and rush the quarterback, that's what Texas Tech has. Sam Levitt's really good and Avery Johnson and all. But that's what Texas Tech, and I will say, that's what they spent their money on. So props to them.
Props to them for sure. They, like you said, they addressed the portal. I think
they should be in our top 20 when we get to Monday.
The expectations are that high when you have the second ranked. It was first until LSU spent some dollars. Second ranked transfer portal. Usually that's Ole Miss or now LSU, like an SEC team, maybe Big 10. We saw that with Ohio State last year. Yeah, I'm with you.
I could also argue for Oklahoma based on what I think they're going to. Yeah. I think they might have one of the top 2, if not the best defensive line in the Big 12. They're really good up front.
They are
really good on the defensive side.
Their front seven's outstanding.
Outstanding. And they've added John Mateer. They've added a running back. Or Jade Knott, a running back. But their schedule's so difficult. I mean, and that's a debate we always have with the Game Time Top 20. Are we ranking them based on what they are now or what they might be at the end of the year? I don't know if Oklahoma can go through that gauntlet and win enough games to be ranked in the top 20 when the season's over.
Here's the issue. They're probably a top 20 roster. I'd feel very confident saying that, but when you start losing games, right, and your team starts to whittle down, and we've seen that again, it's repetitive with the amount of coordinators that you brought in. Compared to Texas, there's no comparison.
Well, and I'm not going to argue for any other Ole Miss, Iowa State, Louisville,
I don't know
Indiana.
what Austin Simmons is. I'm good on Rocco over there at Iowa State. They might win games. But
I think Indiana's an 8-4 team this year.
They got a tougher schedule.
Much tougher. And less. I mean, a lot of the players that they went to the college football playoff with last year came with Kurt Signetti from James Madison, and those guys are gone. They were kind of one-year players, including the quarterback.
Right, quarterback transfers in from Cal. He's pretty solid, but yeah, I'm with you here.
Well, that was part of that continuity we talk about. When Indiana brought in the quarterback O'Rourke, well, he didn't do the offense. I mean, it was his offense.
James Madison 2.0.
Yeah, and so that's light years in advance. But so I'm not going to argue for them, but I would argue for Tech. Yes. I think they probably should be, and I could argue for Oklahoma. I just know the schedule's really tough. As for the composite, 11, again, this is the collation of 11 different preseason top 25s. And we did the point system and who's where. These are the next group, right? Which one of this 5 shouldn't be in? BYU, Michigan, Kansas State, Tennessee, SMU. Which one of those shouldn't be in our top 20? I'm going to say BYU.
I would say BYU. They lost their quarterback.
You can tell me about Michigan because I kind of raised an eyebrow at Michigan.
Sure.
I don't know, man. I got to see it from Sharon Moore. They were pretty bad last year.
They were pretty bad last year, but at the end of the year, we saw they picked it up, right? Even though it was a bowl game, they still beat Alabama, who had a great roster. They beat Ohio State, and now they have a quarterback who I think it's going to take some time for Bryce Underwood to be good. I'm nervous about that.
I don't think they're beating
game.
Oklahoma.
I don't either because it's too early on, and it's a tough environment. I mean, it's
night game,
legit. Your second game of college football. You're 18 years old. I think it's going to take
that
Bryce.
Front seven.
Yeah, and that's the issue, right? That's why I think Arch Manning's in a better spot where he had 2 years to develop, unlike Bryce, who's asked to do it all the pressure on you. I think they will be a team that.
Well, BYU just lost their quarterback, didn't they?
They did. Yeah, he's now a walk-on.
So they're out. We're not doing that.
He
that
broke
guy
the honor code.
He did something against the Mormons, and so he's now at Tulane. So, and this ranking, these composite all before he left.
Yeah, he's gone.
So BYU's out there. I'm not. I will pound the table for SMU. I think they're going to be in the top 20.
I like SMU there.
I don't know about Tennessee.
Well, wait. I mean, they have a
Good
new quarterback.
team.
They did the Uno swap with the UCLA quarterback, Joey.
That's Tennessee, that 18 spot. That's where I might put a Texas Tech. Just slide a Texas Tech in there and drop a Tennessee.
Yeah.
Because I think K-State be pretty good. BYU's got to go. But so who are we swapping? Also on the composite, as we get to this, from 14 to 10 would be South Carolina, Florida.
It's pretty high.
That's pretty high for Billy Napier, who's done nothing since he's been there. Arizona State with a ton of returning, because people talk about what about Cam Scatteraboo? Well, everybody else is back, and I think this is the best quarterback in that conference is Sam Levitt.
Yeah, and their stud receiver who was injured all last year.
He's back.
He's back.
Illinois at 11, which I'm not going to argue with. Miami at 10, which is fine. And the rest of the way, they're from 9 all the way to 1. Wherever we put them, they're going to be in our top 20. It's really the back end that we're trying to figure out. I'm kicking Tennessee out. Until I see it. I'm kicking BYU out.
Those are my two. And then Michigan probably is next on the chopping block because we don't know.
And Florida,
Florida's too high. I mean, they had
they got that same schedule as Oklahoma.
Right. They had an impressive, year last year, but they only won 7 games. They only won 7 games.
And while we're at it, to finish this up before we go to Horns at Half Past, the composite top 10.
Yeah.
Okay, this is 11 different rankings, all put together. Texas is 1. Ohio State is 2. Penn State is 3.
Yep.
Clemson is 4. And that kind of makes sense. That's the best team in the SEC, they say. That's the best team. The Ohio State-Penn State thing are, jockeying for position in the Big Ten. Clemson's the best team far and away in the ACC.
Significantly.
Then Georgia, Notre Dame are almost dead even, so at 5. So Georgia, Notre Dame with a wicked defense and best offensive line in the country.
Love returns, the running back.
Then Oregon, LSU, Alabama, Miami. That's the composite top 10. Might look a lot like the Game Time top 20. I don't know. We won't get to our top 5 until the final week of August. We'll start with teams 20 through 16.
Okay.
Next week. Monday we'll have team number
that 20 spot, that's going to be, there's some names on the chopping block there. Like you said, I don't know about BYU, especially
Maybe we'll
quarterback.
it might be fun, and we can put out a poll or just a question to the text line. 512-834-1027. What if we just put Oklahoma there for fun? So we can talk about some Oklahoma football.
They are a top 20 roster. I feel
All right,
confident
then we're
about
putting
that.
them there.
We're
putting them there at 20.
Like I said, I
and
think
you know who we put at 20 last year? You may not remember this because you were a part of I've been doing this whatever show I'm on top 20 for a long time in the month of August. We had SMU at number 20.
Yeah,
we got a lot of pushback out there. And I said we did it because I think they're going to be good, but I also think they're a state of Texas team that we want to talk about. I think SMU this year, I'm not going to argue with them. I think they're going to be there, but I'm going to let's maybe put Oklahoma at 10.
We had the
20.
The show in the midday we used to have here. We had a conversation of them making the ACC championship because how easy their schedule was. I mean,
that's exactly what it is.
What
Easy
happened?
schedule and talent. And they made the switch at quarterback, and Kevin Jennings took over, and they played for the ACC championship and made the playoffs. So, we'll see.